It's definitely not no news November around here. Facebook is rolling out subscriptions in the EU. Google's experience for EEAT goes in ever decreasing circles. Newspapers bemoan their lot, ignoring their naughty past. Google's search secrets are revealed, yeah, kinda. And users want to buy from small businesses. You just have to remind them to do it. All that wrapped up in a handy blog post and video by me, your experienced expert, JB. Read and watch on. This is JB's digital update for the 7th of November 2023. Let's have a go. Let's dive in. So, firstly, Facebook and Insta are offering pay-to-view in the EU. So Facebook and Instagram finally have announced plans to make it possible for people in the EU to pay for access to their social media networks and not be served ads in return. This is part of Meta's long-running dispute with the EU to do with privacy, data retention and usage and advertising. Meta is pretty clear it doesn't want to do this. It sees itself as an advertising-based company primarily, and it is unlikely to be able to sustain user adoption and per-user revenue streams if it has to charge users. Shock horror. Free still has a greater lure for people, and of course, if users can only access via payment, then that also means there is some potential for economic apartheid, as poorer users may not be able to afford the subscription fee. I'm very much on the fence about this. I think privacy is a basic right. I also think the EU has swung back the other way to punish Meta. However, non-targeted ad streams are utterly terrible, full of rubbish gambling ads, fake products, get-rich-quick schemes, and user subscriptions lead to economic exclusion rather than inclusions, and that's not a good thing. Ding ding, round 37. Want to chat about managing Meta, Facebook, Instagram and all social media platforms? Talk to me today. Big knowledge graph update focused on experience. Core. Time to get your big reading boots on to chew through and digest this article on how Google's knowledge graph was updated in mid-2023 and the effect that then had on helpful content and the core updates which have rolled out in continual waves since. So the basics are that Google expanded EAT, Expertise Authority Trust, in its Google's Rater guidelines to incorporate another nebulous concept of experience. In order to do that, Google had to update its knowledge graph for people, not corporations currently, taking into account new metrics, new ways of doing things. Essentially, it boils down to if you have a knowledge graph or panel for you, it's likely you will be viewed as experienced. This will not directly impact your ranking as the Raters guidelines don't have a direct impact, but you're likely to be viewed more favourably when sense checked and hence less likely to fall foul of random algorithm changes. Now, how do you get to be experienced? By having a history of articles, references, hat tips, nods, winks and other various incantations. We're almost back to authorship structured data. One interesting point to note is that an author might also be seen as a website owner, or publisher might be a better term. This is highly gameable and a really silly move from Google, as it shows their inability to truly judge the value of content unless it is written by someone who's viewed as experienced. We've seen it time and again through history. Shifts in thinking or new knowledge have often come from people who are derided from their experience. Google's search results are at risk of becoming a closey club. For years, Google always said that ranking was down to the URL level, despite plenty of circumstantial evidence to the contrary. Domains or other network-wide factors did not come into their thinking. I wonder if they would still say that today. If you want a proper content strategy or to improve your EEAT and your SEO, let's chat. Newsies gripe about AI and copyright. So roughly 25 years too late. News publishers are realising the internet may just hang around and they're going to stop those darn tooting geeks from taking any of their readers or something like that. Yep, in the latest instalment of News Publishers Don't Get the Net, they are belly aching and pushing back against their precious prose being used to train AI models and engines. Oh my poor sausages. It must be tough to have rivers of gold one day and then the next you've hawked yourself to Google and Facebook and it turns out that neither were your friend. Fool you twice, eh? I mean, in some ways, there's such little content out in the open, non-paywalled internet that it must be a struggle for AI not to believe that every article should read, subscribe to read more. I'd have a little more sympathy for their copyright argument if they didn't have a long and dark history of ripping off first edition articles to claim as their own exclusives, rewriting and twisting other people's content to suit their agendas, and just generally not giving a stuff because they were the newspapers and they could print what they liked. Maybe they're anti-AI because they know just how much money not paying attention to copyright can make. If you want to talk digital strategy as a VCDO or technical strategy, then I'm all ears. DMs are open. Google's antitrust shows just how basic Google search really is. This is another article to chew on and digest at leisure. It's an absolute cracker if you are somewhat new to SEO, and a confirmation of a number of things if you've been around the traps for a while. Basically, during the recent Google antitrust trial, several slides, presentations, emails, etc. have been entered into evidence as Google has sought to show itself the good guy, or the government has sought the opposite. Lots of corporate comms have little interest, but in this case, certain elements like how Google uses user interaction to measure a result's relevance and usefulness, how the search process works by refinement from users, or even Google's admission that it cannot really interpret documents and it relies on user interactions to give it a clue. I think we either secretly or directly knew most of this. Google is just a basic about SEO. You can see it the minute you go digging in the weeds of search results or do an extended query. Google really struggles. If it didn't, it wouldn't need search quality raters to give the results a once over and feedback. It wouldn't need to interpret user interactions as a guide to the results quality or not. Now they have said this, I'd expect people to absolutely game this side of the algorithm. Speaking of algorithms, back in the Matt Cutts days, he used to say that if Google wasn't keen on something, it would basically add it to the algorithm. It seems the algorithm either got too complex or Google's ability to code it got lost somewhere between then and now. Let's chat about the impact of SEO in the digital marketing mix. Get in touch. Christmas shoppers would love to buy from an SMB. That's right, they want to buy from a small local business, but then they get hit with the same product from Amazon or a knockoff that can be bought for cheaper than the local business can buy it for. It's a little bit like those altruism tests. Lots of people say they'd like to do the socially acceptable thing, but most don't when push comes to shove. And it's a shame because we spent so long in COVID supporting some of the local or small businesses that we should then continue to do so. So in order to nudge people in this direction, Google Business Profiles has also released an attribute to let potential purchasers know you are a small business, so update that profile. And users have also said they'd prefer to hear from small businesses, which means it's time to put yourself in front of potential consumers with PPC ads or social media ads. Do that now. You also need to remind your customers you're alive by emailing or SMSing them or using other ways to reach out. And finally, once they've become a customer, you need to do a bit of CRM and email them regularly with news, updates and offers. They want to hear from you. Talk to me about local SEO, Google Business Profiles, PPC and paid social, and email and CRM. Let's talk. Now, I also posted some articles last week, Belmore Digital articles from last week. You may have missed these ones and be champing at the bit to read them. Why Belmore Digital is the top choice for your business. Unlock digital success. Embrace the future with Belmore Digital's VCDO service. Unlock marketing success with Belmore Digital's Virtual Chief Marketing Officer VCMO services. Thanks, JB. So, thanks very much for listening and also for reading. I'm JB. This has been the digital update for the 7th of November 2023. If you want to get in touch, please use the links in the comments in the description beneath, or please use the links in the details in the outro slide which follows. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.